Hello there. Welcome to Fulfill Destiny. This is the group where I will be bringing content your way that will leave you with something to think about. Um, in regards to your calling. I'm just so blessed to be in this platform, to be able to share, what my journey has been and how I can help you reap the same rewards that I have also been able to benefit from. But it's all thanks to God. All thanks and glory be to God that I'm even here, that I've come this far in my journey and I'm in this place at this time in my life. I am just so grateful. Just so grateful. Grateful to be here. And I know you guys are here. You guys are hearing me. I love that you're showing up and giving me the time to be able to share this amazing content. But it's not about me. I want to be able to get right in and start talking to you about finding your voice. But it's not any voice. Because we are constantly speaking and you hear the voice that maybe you're just articulating what you want others to hear. But I want you to find the voice that really matters. And I'm going to get into that in more detail. You may be like, Gloria, what's this about? All right, let's get right into it. Like it or not, you've been blessed with the power to speak. Not only are you speaking into your life, but you're also speaking to the people around you. You're surrounded by people who are not only just seeing you in your daily walk, but they're also hearing you and how you express yourself. They want to be able to meet, that you, the you that's on the inside. Whenever you are confronted by a situation, if you find yourself like you do not really have anything to say, more than likely you do have something to say, but deep down inside, you don't know how to articulate it or express it. Maybe you find yourself in your head so much that by the time you find what you want to say, that conversation has long gone. As my mom would say, once it's gone, you can't go back. She straight up says it, you can't go back. It's so true. You really can't go back. It's like, I finally found what I wanted to say, but I can't go back. Oh, darn it. We can't go back. It's true. Once that moment is gone, it's gone. We don't have the opportunity to go back again and say have this conversation all over again. So it's really, really important to be able to learn to express and articulate and say the things that we want to say and mean it. Be authentic and be real. I'm not saying, be rude or angry or um, speak hate. No, no, no. Finding your true inner voice inside and coming to that place where you know who you are and you can express and articulate who you are. Today, we are growing up in a culture where people are struggling to find that voice, but they're able to, represent and share their thoughts in the ways that, you know, how they want to be perceived by others, but many are very, very scared to connect with their heart and really express who they really are on the inside and how they really feel on the inside. Sometimes it could be just, out of respect or just holding yourself back because you don't want to confront, you don't have this confrontational um, attitude. You don't want to step in anyone's toes. You just want to, you want to play it safe. You want to be neutral. You don't want to get anybody rattled with any statements you're going to say. So we're constantly in our minds more than we are in our hearts. So if you ever found, sorry, that you're hearing words that you're too shy, or sometimes you'll hear words like, can you speak up because I can't hear you? Or it would be really nice if you could participate and share because you really have something good to say. Or like me, who I avoided debates. I did not want to be a part of, having to go back and forth to try to prove both sides. So I just sometimes just agreed to disagree. Even though my heart maybe wanted to say something, I just never delved into it in a way that I could even respond. I just was like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to argue. I want to be neutral, and I don't want to say anything. So I have a question to ask you. If I were to put you on center stage right now and ask you to share your heart out, what would you say that is a true reflection of who you are and not what you want others to see in you? Think about that for a moment. What would be that true reflection of you? The person inside that is authentic, real, saying exactly what she needs to say and mean what she wants to say at that moment in time, not being spaced out, trying to find the right words to say and articulate it to the person in front of them, but actually share her heart out that is felt by others. Even though you're called to ministry, do you find it's hard to even minister to the people right next door to you? Are you thinking about, what will I say? Or what will they think of me if I show my true self? Really, what will they think of me? Some use the strategy of leading people to God by preaching to them about religion, yet nobody really wants to hear that. They don't pay attention to that. They would rather go back the other way because they want something more. This is why it is so important to find your voice. Because if you go out there and give people empty words, when what they really want is your authentic self to show up, then you will lose them. Nobody wants to talk to an automated machine. They want the real deal. I don't know if you've ever called. I wanted to use this because you call a company and they have this automated machine, or even worse, you get a voice message, and this automated machine saying such and so, and we would like to have you. I'm like, you just feel so disconnected from an automated machine. I mean, it is efficient, but it feels more real when you are talking to somebody else on the other line, right? Now, someone who I really admire for her powerful voice is Oprah Winfrey. I watched her show growing up and it was an amazing experience. It's funny, like growing up in a house where I had my parents there, it was like our go-to show of the day. Every day at 4 p.m., we would sit there. It was our family time, like right after school, put your books down, get something to eat, sit down at 4, and we're gonna watch Oprah. Now, of course, there were some shows that were a bit, censored at that time because my age, I wasn't able to watch some of the censored stuff. My mom would be like, "Oh, today it's 14 plus, or it's 15 plus, or 18 plus. You can't watch it." and it would be a downer, but I totally understood. But it was like our family show to watch, and we were all engaged in what she had to say. Like she really impresses me with just how she was able to express her point of view and opinions where you knew, her heart. She was really after the truth no matter what. So much so that people were lining up, not knowing what the episode would be about just because they wanted to be there in person to be able to experience being at the Oprah show. I didn't get the privilege to do that, but dreams can still happen. If she comes back, I could join her in one of her shows. You never know. Oh man, but one thing I remember for sure is whenever I finished an episode, I felt like I got something out of it. Even at that tender age, I could relate to her. I could connect with what she was saying. It made just sense, and I can see that she was really, really going after the truth, and no matter what. Now, when we've grown up in a culture where we're told what to do, what to say, it teaches us to suppress our voice and mask who we really are inside. I think of a story, Steve Harvey, who said that when he was young, his school teacher tried to convince him that his dream to one day be on television would never happen. If he had believed that, he would have suppressed who he really was and not fulfilled the dream God had given him. No one would have ever known him. He would have never made an impact in this world. And he is probably the funniest comedian I have ever heard. But not only that, he's a motivational speaker at that. When he shares his story, I mean, you cannot help but want to pursue that dream and want to fulfill that calling that God has placed in your heart. And the funny thing is, he is keeping it real. He keeps it real. He does not hide or shy away from expressing himself and articulating himself in the way that he even says his jokes. Like he just keeps it real. I can't even describe it more than that. Like he keeps it real, and I have such an appreciation for his story because really, we've been we have been masking and suppressing that voice that's been inside of us all these years. And I'm going to get into it in more detail, but it really affects, how we carry out our lives, even the calling that God has placed in us. So this leads me to ask, are you feeling like your voice is being suppressed, that you find yourself feeling that there is another you deep inside that wants to come out and has been longing to be heard? Think about that for a moment. You know, I used to be someone who struggled to find her voice, believe it or not. If it was until I had this powerful encounter with God where I was able to confront this. I was so bad that it would take me hours thinking of what to say until the moment was gone and my mother would say, Gloria, it's already past. You can't go back. Whatever it is that you have to say, that person is no longer in front of you. It's just me. You can't go back. So I was that person. And Don't get me wrong, I can speak, but I hesitated so much just trying to find the right words to say. And I was constantly beating myself down about this. I wanted to be neutral and not step on anyone's toes, or even worse, be misunderstood or be not liked. Oh my gosh, that would just, oh, I had someone actually just stop talking to me once just because I didn't say hi to them by passing them in the hallway. And it just it irked me. I was like, I'm so surprised. She just stopped talking to me because she's like, you didn't say hi to me on the hallway. I'm like, I didn't even see you. Didn't even give me a chance to explain. And it kind of built that wall that I just didn't want. I didn't want people to misunderstand me. And I really just struggled to speak and to speak to people and express myself. And that showed up in different areas in my life. It wasn't just, at home or in my personal relationships, my family. It showed up even at work. At work, I was so quiet and settled to just be there to do what I needed to do. I mean, I even can describe a moment where, like, for a year and a half, I think I was probably the most quietest I've ever been. I would just show up, go in my cubicle, grab my work, do what I needed to do, and finish what I needed to do. I mean, I still had conversations here and there, but I was probably the most quietest person and unable to really express who I really was. And that really gave people an impression that I was just this shy, quiet person. It was hard for me to talk to have conversation with. But really, I am the total opposite of that. But the worst part that used to happen is even when I got opportunities that would push me out of my comfort zone. I mean, pushing me to now be able to talk, be able to relate to people. I would avoid the spotlight. I would avoid confrontation. I wanted to just play it safe. Don't take any risks. Play it safe. But that all changed when I started finding my voice. I stepped into a role this year where I'm a part of a committee at work, and we hosted an event this year to events. Sorry, I shouldn't say an event. Events this year to celebrate Black History Month. Um, this was so amazing just because, with COVID um, and the virtual environment we were in, um, there was really nothing that was being showcased. I know there were different other committees that were doing something to showcase, but I know in our particular area where I worked, we were the only ones that stepped out and actually did something, which was so amazing. I mean, there were other things that were being done, but not particularly from our office. So it was so amazing that what we did put ourselves on the map. To the point that, we received recognition from my directors. And I remember actually what prompted, I had somebody reach out to me because I'm the head of I should say, I'm the chair of the committee. So I had somebody reach out to me, one of the chairs, let me be politically correct there, one of the chairs. I had somebody reach out to me and say, this was in the middle of 2020, when all these things were happening, the Black Lives Matter was happening, Black Tuesday, and all these pivotal moments were happening that I should have been able to, we should have been able to say something, and I shied away from it. I I literally just said no. We're not going to do anything until February when Black History Month is happening. We're not going to say anything until then, and nobody knows this, but that was what really prompted me to take action because there was something I didn't want to confront, and I wanted to really um, confront this head on. And just like I told her, we did something for February and it got like so much recognition that I'm just so grateful that I was in a position to be able to not only give back, but um, to be able to also lead such an amazing team into facilitating all these events and getting it done. Like we had a month full of events, lunch and learn sessions. We had emails being shared, shedding light on the different issues that affected our community. We were also sharing we even went as far as doing a trivia, which, wow, it was amazing just being able to be in that platform. I didn't know I would love it that much. Like, I'll be honest. I didn't know how much I would love it. I absolutely love that space of being able to create um, and also have God involved in that. Like there's just something so powerful when you connect your purpose with God, and it just seems to accelerate, your journey even further than you imagined it to be. And it has changed my life so much so that like today I'm launching my own company. Like this is legit my own company. Talk about like 360 having to transform. And I can only speak to you the truth of really what my journey was about. Like I am not sugarcoating it or trying to make it look pretty in any way. This is the real deal. So let me get back to our voice. If I chose to stay in my cubicle, never stepped into this role, nobody, this would have never happened. Mm, I would not have found my voice. So to God be the glory, but it took some work to get there, and I am so glad. Now, in keeping it real, I'm going to speak to you truth. So here's the truth. If you do not confront this issue of suppressing your voice and not allowing that voice inside of you that has been yearning to be heard, to to be expressed, felt, it's especially bad, especially when it comes to women. We mask our true selves by suppressing our voices. It continues this way not only at home, but at work, and it affects every area of our lives. To the point that that frustration builds up inside of us, that we start becoming ticking time bombs that are ready to explode from all the pent up emotion. That frustration that builds up from I I know what I wanted to say deep down inside. There was something I needed to say, but I never got to say it, and it's so frustrating. As you continue to suppress that emotion, this is the stuff that causes you to even have sickness in the body. It is not healthy to suppress emotions to the extent that it begins to affect your own health. Many illnesses come from a lot of emotional stress and anxiety that we are putting on our bodies. And the worst part is if you do not learn to confront this, your entire life will be wasted. And you will never know how to reach your full potential if you are living a life that is not your own. Your dream might be to reach many people through your voice and your testimony, but you've never been able to even share your story to anyone because you've not found your voice. I'm getting on calls with women who are telling me that they have never even shown this side of themselves, not even to their own husbands. But they were able to address this issue when they spoke to me. That speaks volumes of just how much we have allowed this pattern to continue to happen in our lives. Even though you want to leave a legacy in this world, no one will hear it if you never find that voice. You have a story that is uniquely your own. You can be the voice to those out there who have been waiting to hear someone be real and share with them what they have been feeling inside, but have never been able to express it until you showed up. So you do not have to continue down that rabbit hole of suppressing your true self, because this life was meant for you to discover who you are and live out your God-given purpose to its fullest. So don't wait, and click on the link below to listen to how we have helped women who have been struggling to find their voice start to walk in purpose again and live out the calling of God in their lives, even if they have suppressed their voice for years. There is hope for you, and we have the solution that will completely transform your life forever and get you back on the path to fulfill the calling of God in your life. And I mean that. So here's the plan. Click on the link and you'll have the information on how to book a free breakthrough session where my team and I will help you. We'll identify the roots, the roadblocks that have been keeping you stuck all these years. We'll help you gain clarity on your calling. We'll help you sift through the noise and get clear on exactly what God is calling you to do right now. And we'll reorganize your focus to walk in obedience, work together with you to use our proprietary IAN method to help you create the time to do what matters most. Let's get on the call to see if we're the fit to help you. The cost is absolutely free. And that's it for today. I look forward to talking to you soon.